Hello everyone and welcome to the Zelda Cast here on ZeldaDungeon.net. My name is Andy Spiteri, joined by Allison Aletha. Al, how you doing? What's going on?
I'm doing good. It's been a busy Sunday, busier than usual Sunday, but I'm here. I'm ready to. I was just talking Zelda. We were doing some marathon planning, but I'm ready to talk more Zelda.
I love it. And talk Zelda today we shall. You know, it feels like it's been a minute since we had a show where it's just us. I feel like we've had all these guests.
We've had
Ugh,
these
these
guests
guests.
with like 2 hour long episodes, 2.5 hour long episodes,
I know.
and maybe that was a good time for the listeners, but it's a lot of sitting here talking about Zelda.
It's a long day to it's a long shift to put in for sure.
Yeah.
Um, Well, we definitely appreciate everyone that is tuning in right now on Twitch to watch us live. But I actually have something that I want to tell everybody. If you are tuning in to watch us live on Twitch, you should actually tune out and you should go watch Flashback 64 streaming on Twitch right now. They are doing a charity marathon that is in support of the PCNF, the Palestine Relief. I don't exactly remember what it's for, but it goes towards helping Palestinian relief. And they are crushing their goal. Like they are, last time I checked was just like, I don't know, like $1,500 or something like that. So doing really, really great. And they're playing Mario 64 over on their Twitch channel. So, and it's really cool, Al, because like, so I got to play on Friday, and basically like I got my Switch, and Goose sent me an invite to play Mario 64, and like I just played, but like on his console. Like it's like a really cool feature that the Switch 2 has, and it was really fun. And so just schmucked around, got a couple stars. It's been a great fundraiser so far. Gooey and McKenna, of course, are hosting that and doing a really, really great job with that. So shout out to them. If you're watching us, you know what? This will be back there on podcast form. Go and check out Flashback 64. The stream does end today. So today, Sunday, May. Oh my God, March. It's March
Whoa.
the 29th. Oh boy.
You were time traveling us.
That's the kind of show this is going to be, okay? It ends today. That's all you need to know, okay? So go over and watch their Twitch stream. Oh boy. I did pretty good in Mario 64, if I do say so myself. I was pulling off some of the like impressive jumps and stuff. Are you?
Nice.
I don't think you're like a Mario 64 aficionado, are you?
No, I mean I played it back in the day. I was just telling you before we started the show that I never had an N64, but I had friends who had it and that I was super jealous of, and I would go play at their house. And I remember that game being very enjoyable. So I couldn't tell you what to do today, that's for sure.
I am checking out the stream right now, and I dare say it looks like maybe Mario 64 was actually conquered. It looks like we might be on some other game right now, another Mario game, perhaps Mario Party. I'm not sure, but yeah, it does look like maybe all those stars were gathered. So there you go. All right, well, we got like a little bit of a variety of a show
A
today, I
variety
guess. A
show.
variety show, yes. That is what we have today. So we're going to kick off with a couple of things. And I guess the first thing that I want to lead off with is we are days away from entering April. And April represents a special anniversary. And so we are pleased to tell everybody that starting on April the 20th, we are going to be having 3 weeks of shows celebrating the 20th anniversary of Okami, which is generally considered one of maybe the best inspired by Zelda games. Certainly one of the most influential inspired by Zelda games. One of the really like the first like big ones, you know, like the one that like very clearly was like a something different. Like I think Star Fox Adventures was definitely one that came before that we've talked about, but Okami is definitely kind of that one was different because it was not Nintendo. It was from Capcom. Capcom had been working on Zelda games just before that, and here they were with their own like basically Zelda game, which is a Zelda game in everything really but name. So for anybody out there that's played it, we hope that you could join us for a retrospective, for a dungeon ranking. We're going to talk about what we want from Okami 2, which has been announced as well. So that is coming up. We have a couple special guests from Zelda Dungeon that are big Okami fans. I'm a big Okami fan as well. And yeah, that's going to be kicking off in just a few weeks. So Allison is... Yeah, you're playing this for the first time. I'm really excited actually to hear your thoughts as someone that doesn't kind of have like a nostalgic grip to it, you know?
Yeah, when the HD version first came out a few years ago, I think what was that, 21 maybe? I like downloaded it and I started it. I was streaming it on my channel for a minute and Catherine was with me. She's also a big Okami fan. But I never finished it. And I don't really know what it was about it that I didn't make it that far. I only probably plugged like 4 or 5 hours in. So I'm really
Right.
excited to actually like really deep dive into it. And especially when you're trying to stream things, I feel like it's really hard to really be in what you're playing. So I'm excited to just be by myself and like experience this game for the first time. So I'm eager. I'm ready. I'm a little sad that it's gonna cut into some Pocopia time, but that's okay. It's worth it.
You know what we might need to talk about on maybe it's an entire show on Patreon, but I think Samantha is like 45 hours into Stardew now. She's
Already?
her house is bigger, her field is bigger.
Uh-huh.
She was like she's in level 60 of the mines. She has like I think she has about 8 chests full of stuff. She has like 3 fridges
Yes.
full of vegetables or whatever.
I love this for Sam. I'm so excited. This totally needs to be a bonus episode.
Maybe we can make it happen. I'm sure. I mean, I've seen her message you asking for like, how do I catch a trout or whatever it was.
A salmon.
A
Yeah,
salmon.
a
I'm
salmon
sorry.
in the
Yes.
fall. Because some fish only pop up in certain seasons and certain weather. So I understood. She's like, I only have 3 days of fall left, and I get it, but I suck at fishing. So hopefully I gave her an okay advice. Fall will come again, and so will the salmon.
Yes. Well. Yeah. So the game is officially a hit over here. So. But
I
yes,
love
we,
it.
we are going to be talking about Okami coming up very soon. I am really curious because even I will admit Okami is like one of the ultimate gets by on vibes kind of game. You know what I mean?
hmm Wait! Don't put that into my head. I need to experience it. Don't put that in
Yeah,
my head yet. We'll
you'll
get there.
you'll have a good time with it. This I am
Okay.
very confident of. But yeah,
Okay.
the vibes are great. Okay, so moving on, we are going to we have a few things that we could talk about next year, Al. But I guess what we could do is we could go over and we could discuss a little promotional poster that was released this week, and
Mm.
my God, it set the internet ablaze. And here we go. So it is for the upcoming Super Mario Bros. Galaxy movie. And the rumors were out there, but
Yeah.
now we have confirmation that it is indeed going to feature Fox McCloud of the Star Fox series. And I was about to say spoiler, but I don't. I'm not doing it. Okay, I'm not subscribing to that. It's an official marketing release, so it's not a spoiler. I understand maybe some people would have rather seen that in the movie, but like I'm not doing it. I'm not calling it a spoiler. Fox McCloud is in the movie though, voiced by Glenn Powell, which seems like great casting.
Mhm.
I'm excited for this. Like to me, this is like so a couple things. Like number one, this makes me kind of want to see the movie more because I'm like, who else could be maybe in the movie? And if no one else, like that's totally fine. But number two,
Mhm.
I feel like people have not been talking about Star Fox like this for like 10 years.
Mhm.
Like not since Star
Um.
Fox Zero came out on the Wii U.
Yeah. I understand where you're coming from. This is totally not a spoiler because they marketed it. I think for me personally, it just seemed like a strange choice that they would market it a week in advance of the movie coming out. And I personally would have liked to have seen that and been surprised by that in the movie because I knew the rumors were out there. There's like in one of the trailers, there's like a teeny tiny like frame of Fox's like leg or something, and people were
Hmm.
like, "That's Fox," and I was just or, like Star Fox, and I was like, "Yeah, that would be really cool." But I wanted to be. It's kind of like when like all the Spider-Man stuff was coming out, and they were like, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, they're going to be in the next Spider-Man movie, and I didn't want that to be like, told. I wanted to experience that in the theater. That's the kind of vibe I'm getting from this. But since it's, Nintendo and Illumination that came out with this news, like I totally know where you're coming from, where it's totally not spoiler. But yeah, I think that's exciting. I think that's a cool casting. I love, like, I know when we talk about the Zelda movie, we're kind of like, oh, we don't want an all-star cast, but it is kind of fun when they're doing voice acting, having an all-star cast.
Oh, that's totally different. Yeah, like,
yeah,
for Illumination movies like this, I feel like the stunt casting is kind of what you're there for in a way.
Yeah.
Like, I think Glenn Powell was a great choice. He's definitely an actor.
I like
kind
Glenn
of on
Powell.
the
He's definitely very popular right now. So yeah, good choice. I agree.
Yeah. I think that there's like a delineation between like something being a spoiler and like preferring to be surprised in a movie, and I get that. I just like I think you know what, I'm gonna use Spider-Man as an example, actually, because you did. I mean, first of all, every single person knew that Garfield and that Tobey Maguire were coming into that movie. You could see the trailer where like Lizard was fighting nobody, so they like obviously.
Well, that was also like that was their fault. That was the Marvel and Sony's fault for doing that.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I will say this. So I remember actually in Spider-Man 3, there was a cameo where Daredevil was in the movie, or Matt Murdock, I guess, to be specific. And I was like, oh, that's neat. And then like you just kind of forget about it after the movie's over. And I feel like the same thing might be true of Fox here. Like my expectation, and obviously like who's to say what's spoiler and what's not without actually seeing the movie. But I'm assuming that Fox is going to play a fairly insignificant role. It's going to be maybe a glorified cameo.
I wonder if it's like they're building up to like a Smash type of
I'm
situation.
sure they are. I'm sure
so
they
that's
are.
why like that makes sense to me. Like when you see Matt Murdock and Spider-Man, you're like, okay, because Marvel's been doing the cinematic universe forever. Like that, whatever. It makes sense. It was just a cameo. But for this, I feel like it's a significant deal because they're probably building something.
Yeah, and you know what? Like if Samus is in the post-credit scene, obviously we don't want that spoiled, right? But like I think like if Fox is in the movie like as a little bit of a cameo, where I was going with the Matt Murdock thing is like you had that moment in the movie, you're like, oh, that's cool. You come out of it and you're not thinking about Matt Murdock, obviously, nor should you be. But now everyone has been buzzing about Fox McCloud and Star Fox for like a couple of days until it is, until the movie comes out, which I'm sure then they'll be talking about whatever is in the post scene or whatever, whatever else happens. So I think that it was I think that it was a good move, and for someone like me, that's like, I'm obviously going to see the Super Mario Bros. Galaxy movie. I thought the plot for this one was a little like, so far I was like, God, it seems like it's really packed with stuff. But so seeing something that was like kind of unexpected, I thought it made me more excited to go see it. So I think that I think that was the goal.
I hear you, and I think despite like the feeling that I'd rather have seen it in the movie and surprised, I was still surprised, and I was still happy that this is like something that we're seeing and that they're putting into the movie, and potentially they're building something with this new like kind of branch off of the Nintendo, like their IPs and their franchises. So I'm excited about it either way. I'm super stoked to see what they do with this movie. It comes out in a few days as of recording this, so maybe next week we'll be talking about it. We'll see.
We will. You know what? Saw Project Hail Mary too. You're gonna really like that.
I'm sure I will. I'm eager to see that. I think I was telling you before the show I'm gonna go do a double feature. So
it's a little E.T. It's a little Martian. I wouldn't say, I saw one of our colleagues say it was a little bit Interstellar. Maybe kinda, but I would lean more like E.T.
The plot seems Interstellar. You know how like our son's dying, you need to go find somewhere else to live kind of situation, which is like
kind of, yeah. Like there's certainly some of it, but like don't go in expecting like kind of a Yeah,
and you don't need the visual and musical experience from Interstellar.
Interstellar but happy, Cal says. That is apt. Yeah, that's apt.
Yeah. I love The Martian so much, so I'm sure I will love this movie.
Yeah, I like The Martian as well. I actually haven't seen it since I saw it in theaters, but I really liked Project Hail Mary. It was very cute. Very cute. All right. Musical March Madness is underway at zeldadungeon.net right now. And we've had a history-making tournament so far. I mean, actually, like for the first time ever, the number 16 seed has upset a number 1 seed. And we'll go over it right now. But I will say there's good news and there's bad news here, Al. The good news is that the Zelda Cast prediction is currently sitting at the 5th spot right now.
Yes.
Pretty good. The bad news is that Corey is also sitting at 5th right now, which is something that we just hate to see. Mossy's is at number 4, which we also hate to see. You know what? Nicole is leading the pack, which is great. But, Al, you're doing respectable. You're at number 12. And
yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad for me at all.
If you scroll down and down,
what's great about it?
And down, and you keep scrolling down, and you scroll down some more, there is me at number 51.
Yeah,
this will
that's
be
what's pretty great about it.
This will be the worst I ever finish this tournament, for sure. Like the seeding is totally bonkers here. It should be said. Like the seeding is absolutely nuts.
You know what? Next year, Musical March Madness, when you give your spiel as somebody who has won this tournament before, I'm going to counter your spiel as somebody who's totally bombed this tournament before.
Well, you know what? You got to take some risks if you want to be a winner of the tournament. That's what people don't understand, Al. You can't just play it safe and expect to win. You gotta put yourself out there. And sometimes when you put yourself out there, you get burned. But sometimes you take home the grandest prize of them all, and you can call yourself a former champion of Musical March Madness. It's not over, okay? It's definitely not over. Like there's a lot of tournament left, and like a lot of the people that are kind of ahead here, like Locke has Rising Island Chain in the finals, and that got decimated in round 1. Right above that, like we have a lot of people with Dark World, and if Dark World fails again, like that's going to bust a lot of brackets. And I'm not going to say that's impossible.
I know. I feel like it's so difficult today to be like, Dark World's going to make it to the end but not win. But what if Dark World does win? But what if just Dark World doesn't even make it that far anymore? It's just like, It feels very unpredictable at this point because you thought it was going to win for like the last 3 years in a row, and it just hasn't.
There's definitely some like... There's some people that have picked Breath of the Wild, Hyrule Castle. I would be really worried about that pick because it's barely beating the Song of Storms right now in round number 1. So
what was the one that was tied? When I voted a few minutes ago, it was tied.
Probably Hidden Village versus Romance in the Air.
Yeah, that one's tied, which I guess I'm not too surprised about. I felt like that could go either way, but I went with Hidden Village.
I was really surprised looking at my bracket that I took Romance in the Air, but I made my bracket in like 2 minutes, so I guess I'm not that surprised.
And before we talked about it on the episode too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see, but yeah, things are not going that great so far in the tournament. A totally wonky seeded tournament, but nevertheless. All right, we should talk about some news that came out this week, Al, and there was a big Nintendo story that was that was out, and that Nintendo story is that we are going to be seeing a price difference between physical and digital games. And the price difference, obviously the physical games are going to cost more. They're $10 more. And Nintendo is saying this is due to the production and distribution costs of these games. So currently right now, digital releases are going to cost $60 USD, whereas physical releases are going to cost $70 USD. I believe that most of the physical releases thus far have already been costing $70 USD. Is that correct?
Yeah, I wonder if that's what they're saying is like that's what it is right now, but the change will be beginning May 2026.
Right.
So does that mean it's going up in May 2026?
Well, like
it'll be 70 for digital and 80 for physical?
Not that I'm seeing right now. So you can pre-order. So Yoshi and the Mysterious Book is the first game that this price increase or this price change, I guess, is going to impact. And so right now, you can pre-order it for $60 USD digital, 70 USD physical. So
Hmm.
I'm reading this and I guess I'm kind of thinking like it looks like digital is coming down, and this is where I might need to be fact checked because I just buy all my games physical, but like I believe for most of the Switch 2, the games have been $70 USD, and even Tears of the Kingdom we saw that as well. Whereas like the digital version is going to be seeing, I guess, like a price decrease,
Hmm.
which I still and like I frankly like the pricing for like the games has been like all over the place because like Mario Kart World was $80 USD when it came out, except when it was bundled in the with the Switch 2, and then it was $50 USD, whereas Donkey Kong Bonanza was $70 USD. It's been a crapshoot like for the Switch 2 right now. So
Hmm.
I guess like on one hand it's good to have like some stability for that, but I do think that like I'll tell you this, like I don't like it that digital games cost less than
Hmm.
physical games, because like yeah, you can buy digital, and like for a lot of games like buying digital is the only option that you have, and for a lot of people it's convenient. Obviously you don't need to leave your house. Obviously, you can just you could play it whenever you want to without switching the cartridges. But I do think like in some world, if there's ever like some catastrophic like event that I don't know, wherever the information for these games is stored, even though it's downloaded on your Switch, if that happens and this information is gone, like that game is not yours. Like you don't have it. So I don't necessarily like this. I've never been a big proponent of buying digital. I buy physical every option that I can. I guess like I understand this. Obviously, like production and shipping and tariffs are a real thing. So like I totally get that. Um, I don't know. I guess I just don't like it because like how soon until like, oh, by the way, digital games are now 70, and if you want physical, it's actually going to cost you 80 or 90 USD. Like I
Hmm.
feel like that's what people are trying to get towards, is the elimination of physical hardware. And like you can buy physical hardware through limited run games and other like outlets like that, but like the price is staggering compared to digital. So like how can it doesn't make fiscal sense for a lot of people, and when gaming is more expensive than ever, I worry about the precedent that this kind of sets, and I just don't like it. I don't like it.
I do too. I think an important part to bring into this conversation too is the game key factor.
Mm.
Um, so I brought it up, or I pointed out that I got my physical version of Pokopia a little bit late. It was delivered a little bit late, which was a bummer because I missed it for like the first whole 2 weeks that it was out. Just because one of the timing of its delivery and two the timing of the stuff I had going on at the time. But then somebody pointed out, I'm not calling anybody out about this, but somebody pointed out, well, why not just get it digital? It's a game key, you know? And for me personally, I like having the case. I like having the physical cartridge. And game key is not a new thing to Nintendo. Like PlayStation has been doing it for a while too. I can't speak to Xbox because I don't play Xbox, but PlayStation has definitely been doing game keys. And so, but I like the aspect of having something physical. Like I bought this, I spent the money, I want to hold it in my hand. I
Totally.
want to be able to put it on my shelf and show that I am supporting this IP, this franchise, etc. But if the game key is factored into this, like say they're saying because this is you're buying the physical box, it's $10 more, but the game cartridge is the game key, then I don't know if I like that because you're basically buying the digital version plus a box.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
the box is 10 extra dollars. That sounds crazy to me. So
Yeah, so you have the downfalls of all of those, but the perks
yeah.
of none of them,
Yeah,
um,
exactly.
which is
So
really awful. Like, and
So I
like,
kind of like almost agree with that person who brought that up, who were like, "Well, why not just get the digital? You're spending extra on up for a box now." And I'm like, now with this coming out, if that is the case for the Game Key games, I'm like, yeah, you're kind of right, you know?
yeah, and like, um, it's one of those things, right, where it's like the convenience, like everything points to like you should just buy digital. It's
Mhm.
more convenient, it's cheaper, it's like ordering stuff from Amazon. Like I know a lot of people don't love to order stuff from Amazon, but like sometimes it's like how can I not, right? Like
Yeah,
but there are negative effects to that too, or like if people are only
you're
buying
eliminating
digital,
competition.
you're
Yeah.
going to eliminate physical, and then like eventually nobody will truly own anything, and you will have to either pay a subscription like you do now. And I
Mhm.
love NSO. Like I think it's a great service and reasonably priced, but like what if it's not reasonably priced, or like what if, you know what
Mhm.
I mean? Like I think that preservation is a really big deal. And like if you buy a game, you should own that game and be able to play it on your system all the time. um,
Mhm.
and like I don't know, like I just I think that I mean obviously the shift has started towards digital. You see companies like GameStop that are basically on the brink of bankruptcy. I mean they're a terribly run company, but like
Mhm.
it's hard to be a game seller right now when digital is taking so much of that from you, that I do like just worry about like where that's going to be with
Mhm.
this. And I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like the precedent that it sets. I don't like the implication that it sets. I've always kind of felt like to me, Nintendo is one of the more like I'm going to use this word loosely, like pure video game companies, like publishers, in that like they genuinely, for the most part, have the interest of gamers first before a lot of other things. But I don't know. I don't like this one, Al. I don't like it because
I
I
don't
think
like
it's
it
a
either.
slippery slope.
Yeah, I agree. I don't really like it either, and I feel like going forward after this change, if a game has a game key, I'm probably buying it digital. And like,
Totally.
I don't want to like like I don't want to fuel this fire, but like I also don't want to be over here spending a bunch of money that I don't need to be when prices of games keep going up. Now, don't get me wrong, when I play games like Tears of the Kingdom and even Pokopia, like Pokopia is massive. It is ginormous. You wouldn't think so based on like our first trailer from last year that we saw. But it is a huge game, and it will you people will easily sink like 300 hours into this game if they like, sit with it for a while. So I can understand why it's $70, but I don't want to go spend $80 on top of that when this change happens and have to wait 5 hours for this game to download on my Switch when I could have just done that digitally.
Um, yeah, yeah. I just like I think like right now it probably seems like a good news scenario. Like, hey, if I want to buy a digital game, it's going to be cheaper. But I just like I think you introduce this and then gradually like Netflix. How many times has Netflix raised their prices in the last couple of years? They just did it again like 2 weeks ago.
Hmm.
I just think you're gonna see like, you know what, this game, this Pokopia game, like this is a 300-hour game. Like this is the value for this digitally is worth $70. And if you want, if you're a pigeon out there that just wants to buy plastic, like you're gonna have to pay $90 for it. Because I
Hmm.
see that coming. I
Yeah,
see that coming.
exactly. Yeah.
We'll see. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But I guess that's kind of where we're going. So okay, so really quickly, I'm not going to go over the whole thing, but there was a new interview that was published from Nintendo Everything, talking with Patricia Somerset, just kind of asking her about how the role of playing Zelda has evolved over the years, differences between voicing her in Tears of the Kingdom versus Age of Imprisonment, were what it was like recording the Zelda Note memories. And Somerset kind of gave an interesting little tidbit answer there, an interesting look into how some voice actors kind of get into the role of their character. It's not like a big interview, but there's definitely some things that that are like cool little nuggets of information there. So yeah, go check it out. It's on ZeldaDungeon.net. We transcribed it. Nintendo Everything obviously has the full interview over on their site as well. So always good to catch up with Patricia Somerset and see what's going on. You'd have to imagine. I think that she's probably done playing Zelda.
Yeah, I don't know. And of course she can't tell us otherwise, but I guess if we really truly are done with the wild era of the Zelda games, unless they keep her on to play the next era of Zelda, just to keep the voice actors the same.
Yeah.
I don't
And you know,
know.
maybe we're assuming too, like we might be too quick to assume that we're moving on from the Wild era, because I mean, like, you look at Tears of the Kingdom, like it sold 20 million copies. I maybe I'm not moving so quickly away from that, actually. Like, maybe the same kind of style, same kind of like familiarity is something, if I'm Nintendo, that I'm gonna be like, yep, I'm no problem with this. And I gotta be honest, like, I wouldn't even mind that if, like, there was, like, as long as there's a new world and there's new
Hmm.
abilities, like, I would probably be disappointed, but I'm not like boycotting the game because of that either. So maybe she's not
Yeah.
done. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, if we wanted to get into that conversation, I'd probably say that I'm done with the wild era. I'm ready. And like I feel like sure Nintendo could look at something and be like, this is a moneymaker, let's keep going. But I feel like Nintendo usually likes to try new things. So I feel like they're probably ready to move on too.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which will be like the end of an era. It's been,
Mhm.
I mean, geez, it's been what,
The
10
end of the
years?
era since we've been doing this podcast, right? You guys
Yeah.
started with the Champions Cast or with the Champions Ballad, and
Yeah.
yeah,
I guess so. The first time that we would have heard Patricia Somerset's voice was she in the first trailer for Breath of the
I
Wild? The
want to.
Open Your Eyes. I think that was it.
Yeah, that was it. Open your eyes.
Oh, so that's been 10 years, Al. 10
10 years.
years.
Yeah.
Holy cow. My beard was a little less gray back then.
You know what? And it's going to be such an interesting turn. So let's say Patricia is done, and we have a new Zelda and a new Zelda voice actress coming in the next few years. I remember when we were first being introduced to Patricia's voice for Zelda, and people were just like, "Ooh!" Either it was like two ways. You know, people were like, "Yes, this is great. That's exactly how I picture Zelda," and other people were like, "Ooh, I don't know. This is not how I picture Zelda sounding." And then we, like, over the next 10 years, we came to accept that and appreciate that, and this is what Zelda sounds like. Now it's gonna change, and people are gonna be like, "Ooh, I don't like this. She doesn't sound like Patricia." Like,
Yeah.
it'll be super interesting to see.
It will be. I mean, of course, like, she's always gonna have the distinction of, like, I guess, like, if you really want to get technical, she's not the first person to voice Princess Zelda, but for all intents and
Yeah.
purposes, she's the first person to voice Princess Zelda. So it was always going to be an adjustment from, like, what fans
Hmm.
expected to her voice, but now, yeah, you're right. It's going to be like, this doesn't sound like Zelda. This sounds like
Yeah,
someone
exactly.
else.
Hmm.
So there we go. Okay, so that's the news that we got. Did I miss anything, Al?
I think that's all we wanted to talk about.
I think that's it. I think that's all. Well, we are going to just round this episode off with a few daily debates. We'll talk just some general Zelda, and because I feel like it's been, I guess it hasn't been that long, but it feels like since you and I got to do that, it's been a long time.
Yeah. Like a
So
full episode we haven't done of daily debates in a minute.
that's right, yes. Okay, let's get started here, and we are going to start off by choosing violence, Allison. We are going to Jared Eubanks, and my man Jared is asking, what do you find to be the most aggravating gameplay mechanic in Zelda? So I gotta say, I'm a pretty frequent commenter on Zelda Dungeons, like articles and stuff like that. I gave
Okay.
my answer, and I saw a lot of other answers that I was just kind of like, yeah, this could probably constitute as well. But for me, I gotta say, there's one thing that stands above the rest. I'm sure you could probably guess it.
The DS
The
controls.
DS controls.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought so.
motion controls. I just like, I don't know. I just hate them. I don't know what else to say. I just like, they are not necessarily for me. And you know what? One thing I will say, going back to Okami, actually, is because a lot of people said motion controls for Skyward Sword in here as well. Okami is one of the great games because it came out on PlayStation, but then it came out on Wii later. And Okami is like one of the great games to play on Wii because it's so intuitive to draw with your paintbrush. I would say even above Skyward Sword. But yeah, I just like for the DS controls, like they just killed these two games for me. These two games which already kind of had like some things working against them in my view. That would be the one for me for sure.
Hmm. I want to narrow down from there because I'm okay with the DS controls. I think they can be frustrating at times for sure. Don't get me wrong, there's
Yeah.
points where I'm frustrated. I think they're fun and I like them. But what really always aggravates me that I can't seem to get over is the flute. The
That would have been
flute
my second
from Spirit
choice.
Tracks.
Yeah.
It is so like I brought this up so many times over the years. I can't imagine a child figuring out how to play the flute. Like these games are usually generally directed towards children, and like I'm trying to imagine myself at 10. Maybe kids are better than me when I was 10, but when I was 10, there's no way I would have like thrown my DS across the room trying to figure that flute out.
The flute is brutal. It's so
You
rough.
think you're doing it right. You hit all the notes, and then it's just like, no, you messed up. Do it again. And then you do it again. I think Josh told me 2 years ago that I'm not holding it long enough. Like I'm not breathing into it long enough, and so I stop too soon. And I'm like, why do I have to sit here and hold the note? I played the note. Like I don't need I don't have any musical talent. How am I supposed to know how long to hold a note? You know?
Yeah, that would have been number two. So in the daily debate, my number three was also in here, and this one is specific. There's a couple of those gyroscopic shrines that you need to do in Breath of the Wild.
Okay, I can see that one.
I'm not a fan of those really at all. I couldn't say they're like the worst offender, but I certainly don't like them.
Yeah, I can understand that. I remember people being frustrated with those. I thought they were fun, but it was more so like the first time they were fun, and then when you replay the game, you're kind of like, I don't really want to do this because you know how to do it. It's like a
Yeah.
gimmick, and you're just like, meh, you know?
You know what else I might have said, Al? I might have said sailing in the original Wind Waker. But like
Okay.
with an asterisk, because like I really I like
You don't have
sailing,
to.
but
Yeah.
I don't like having to stop and change direction if you like slightly overshoot your
Yeah,
dock or
I
something.
understand what you're saying. Yeah, because
Yeah,
you don't have the Swift Sail in the original, and
yeah,
you would have to play the song all the time to switch the wind.
yeah. I thought that one was tough, a little
Yeah.
bit. Okay, let's move on. This is from Nick Miller. He's back. Star Fox is in the thumbnail here. Are you worried that Nintendo will reveal too much about the Zelda movie ahead of its release? Like, this is so subjective, people. Like,
Yeah.
what is too much? And it's hard to say before you see the movie, right? Like, I kind of gave an opinion that might have sounded harsh about like people reacting to spoilers and stuff like that, because I think that spoiler like culture is out of control. Like, you people are like, oh my god, I saw this like character that's in the movie for 2 seconds, I'm spoiled now. And it's just like, okay, like let's recalibrate, let's take a deep breath here, this is not a spoiler. But on the flip side of that, I do remember when Batman versus Superman was coming out, I was really excited for that movie. And they basically gave you the whole plot in the trailer. Like, Doomsday was shown in the trailer. So like I don't want to discount like the marketing can sometimes show too much. I feel like I'm not worried about like the like Nintendo revealing too much for the Zelda movie, because I'm pretty sure I could probably tell you the basic gist of what the plot's going to be, right? Like right now.
Yeah.
It's more so the experience of like seeing it in action that is there's like some movies like, and I would say the Super Mario Bros. Galaxy movie, easy for me to say, falls into that as well, where it's like you just want to see the experience. If you're watching like a murder mystery movie, like of course
Yeah.
that's one that you need to not be spoiled for. But like for Mario, like I could tell you the whole plot of Mario pretty much right now with I feel like 80% confidence. You know what I mean? They're going to run into some trials and tribulations. They're going to overcome them. Friendship is going to save the day. Bowser Jr. is going to relate to Mario and Luigi at the end, and everyone's going to be happy. Like that, like, you know?
Yeah. I agree with you. It totally is subjective. I think if we're basing it on like the Mario marketing, up until like this week, I felt like the trailers and stuff were fine. I didn't feel like in fact, I was like, I'm sure there'll be more surprises in the movie than what we're seeing in the trailers. And they did that. It was the same with the first movie. They they had like one specific scene that they gave a like sneak peek of, which is like Bowser taking over the penguins. You know, that was
Yeah.
like a sneak peek kind of deal. And then they showed some of the trailer stuff, and I was like, half of that was like it wasn't like they were putting half the movie in the trailer.
Hmm.
which some movies people do that, and it is very frustrating. I totally get it. I don't think that's going to happen with Zelda. Um, I will say that like when we were getting the trailers for Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, you find out after playing those games that they put all the major story beats in the trailer, and you're like, damn, they put like most of the cutscenes in the trailer. So it's just like I hope they don't do that, but like that's also a game, so it's a little bit different. But I don't know. I'm not worried about it with the Zelda movie.
I will say this more so for Breath of the Wild than Tears of the Kingdom. I think Tears of the Kingdom does have spoilers, but like I don't think like the plot of Breath of the Wild has like anything I would consider a spoiler like at all.
Hmm.
Like so, and maybe that's just me, but like yeah, pretty much like maybe the only like I like what would you consider a spoiler from Breath of the Wild? Like I actually don't know.
A spoiler from Breath of the Wild. I'm trying to think of like if I went back to like the trailer
So
standpoint.
maybe so for me, I'm like okay, I'm thinking Tears of the Kingdom. A big spoiler would be Zelda swallowing the stone, of
Turning,
course.
yeah, turning into a dragon,
That's
obviously.
probably
Yeah.
the big one, or maybe another. You know what? Another spoiler would be Sonya. That would be
Yeah.
one for sure. But even like other than that though, like I don't know. I can't even think of a spoiler from that game.
Yeah, I can't from Breath of the Wild standpoint, like, because all the impact you already know, like all the impact you already know
Right.
that like the world is devastated. And at this point you just find out like how and why it's devastated. So I guess the spoiler would have been that Zelda never like unlocks her power except for helping Link, which you kind of see in a teaser of the game. I want to say in the
Yeah.
2017 trailer you do see that. So
Yeah, like that's probably it. Like from the game, like that. If you're gonna say anything's a spoiler, it's that Zelda kind of fails. But like, I don't know. Like, even that, like I guess my definition of a spoiler is like, does this impact like the ending or the plot? And like, I guess you could make your case that it does, but I don't know.
yeah. And I
I'm
so
not worried to answer the
I go
question.
back to yeah, I'm not worried. And then I go back to the Star Fox thing and like again, I'll put your words on it. It's totally subjective.
Yeah,
Like it makes you more excited to go see the movie and I'm over here kind of like, "Oh man, I wish I kind of would have been surprised to see him in the movie." You
yeah,
know? It just depends on the person. Although and then I will agree with you that wasn't a spoiler because it was marketed by them. It's not like somebody
yeah.
went to see the movie early and then said Fox is in it, you know?
Of course, that's totally
Yeah.
different. Like I think if like the creator, be it the movie studio or the developer or whatever, like if they want you to see this information, it probably isn't a spoiler. Like I don't
Mhm.
think Fox is going to be critical to the plot of
No, no.
Mario, and so like I don't know. I'm not worried about the Zelda movie. Like the draw is just seeing like the world in action, and like honestly, the draw of like the Mario Bros movie for a lot of adults like us is like sitting there and like going Easter egg hunting. Like, oh hey, it's this or
Or
it's
just
this
feeling
or
the nostalgia or whatever.
sure,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, what about this one, Al? Sean Gatus. What town or village from Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom would you want to take a vacation to?
Oh no, that negates where I would actually want to go on vacation because it says town or village specifically.
Wow. You know, we can make an exception here, okay? You can go to Lookout Landing, you can buy some hiking gear, you can buy a tent. I'm sure you
And
can make
go
it
to my
happen.
Satori Mountain.
Yes, I'm sure you
um,
could.
well, no, if I'm saying village, that's tough. I feel like that's actually pretty tough. What do you think?
Lurelin definitely comes to mind for me.
I'm not
Right
an ocean
away.
gal.
No?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Um yeah, that one comes to mind. I think the beach would be cool.
Hmm. Yeah, people like the tropical stuff, the beach.
Let's see. Let's see. You
You
know
know
what?
what? I
Terrytown?
think Terrytown's good. I think since I am big into shopping and like thrifting and all that kind of stuff, I feel like with the bustling scene of Hateno, like getting into the fashion scene probably would be good because I would like want to go shopping there, you know?
Okay. Yeah, I like that. You know what?
Yeah,
Hateno
I like
might
to
not
shop
be
on there.
far from my list. I really like Breath of the Wild's Kakariko, actually. That's a really
That's
cool.
a good one.
That's one of my favorite versions of Kakariko. Um,
Hmm.
all right. Uh, this is from John. Should Zelda games have playable companion characters?
Ooh.
You know what? I think if it fits the story, sure. Like you saw that in Spirit Tracks, and I think that that was like done really well in that game. Like I think like obviously you don't want to be playing as Navi or you know, I was gonna say Fi, but
I would think like if it's a playable thing and you're using in the same way that you use Zelda to solve puzzles, like say you can control Navi for a second to go in a tiny hole in the wall to hit a switch for
yeah,
Link to
okay.
open the door, like that would be cool. Or she could go into like only she's small enough to go solve this certain puzzle and you have to, you know, guide her. I don't know if it needs to be something like super in depth, like sections of games, but like to help you solve
Yeah.
puzzles.
You know
I
what?
think that's really cool.
I will say actually to counter this though, I just remembered this. I hate the sections in Wind Waker where you play as Medley and Makar. I don't think those are
Oh, I
great.
forgot about those. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I think you could improve those, like for sure. Like you could probably just do like a fast swap button instead of having to stop. Because like I think that was the problem is that movement felt like very stilted and very slow.
It's the same with the Stone Tower Temple where you have to like stop, play a song, get a
Yeah,
statue. Yeah.
yeah, that one's even
Yeah.
worse actually. But um,
Yeah.
I'd be totally open to it though. Like yeah, because like even in Majora's Mask when you play as Cafe, like I thought that section was really cool.
I thought the same thing where you like do a double team, you know,
Yeah,
kind of play. That even though it was stressful. I was stressed out by that situation. But but yeah, no, I think that's fun as long as it doesn't overstay its welcome, I think.
I almost think like if you're gonna do a game like that where you can play as companions, you should almost just do a game almost like what Echoes of Wisdom did at the end, where you're kind of going back and forth between Link and Zelda. Like I think that could be cool.
That was fun. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm totally open to that. Like it as long as it kind of, I mean, obviously it has to be good, but I think that it should also fit the setting, the story, the scenario, whatever have you as well. Okay, this is a great question from Sherry. Should Zelda games still be considered as medieval fantasy? Let me ask you a question, Al. Do you consider Zelda games as medieval fantasy? Because I was asking myself if I do, and I'm not sure. There's some elements of them that I certainly think are, but like I think for me, one of the big things about like watching like Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones or like just even reading like King Arthur is like the speech is almost what gives it that air of like medieval to me as much as anything else. And Zelda has never really had that kind of formal medieval speech except for Link to the Past.
Maybe even Ocarina of Time with the Deku Tree, he did have a little bit of like a Shakespearean kind of vibe.
Yeah, yeah, I
But
guess so.
when I think medieval, I think of like the places, like the towns, the castles, and the costs, like what people wore. Like very Renaissance-y and stuff. You can
Yeah.
get that vibe from like Castletown, Hyrule Castletown. Um, so that's maybe I can understand that, but otherwise, I've always just thought of Zelda as straight fantasy. I don't know if I would put it in, and maybe I just don't know the definition of medieval anymore, so
Hmm.
I could be wrong there. But it just feels like straight fantasy to me. I wouldn't ever put that spin on it. But I think in the daily debate, there like the picture suggests like maybe we could go versus sci-fi, and I feel like we are already kind of there. We have so much like new technology in Zelda
Totally.
that it is feeling like it's like shifting into sci-fi a little bit.
And I welcome that, to be honest with you, actually.
Yeah.
Like I think that's really really cool. Like I think that there's still room for both. But I guess I never really considered it a medieval fantasy, and maybe I should have. And maybe you're right. Like maybe I just don't know the definition.
Yeah, I would have to look up the definition because there's like high fantasy, there's like, and I need to know the differences
Yeah.
between all of these. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, like I would say fantasy. Like would you consider Lord of the Rings medieval fantasy? That one I feel more comfortable saying like because
Maybe,
like
yeah, like, what's
everybody
the
talks like the Deku Tree in that game. You know what I mean? Like there's one character in Ocarina of Time that kind of has that, but like you go to like the rest of the characters are kind of talking normally.
yeah, yeah. I can see that, especially like with the different towns and how they look and stuff like that. So I could see that there. But again, it's just like, I guess I never put medieval in front of fantasy before. So to
Yeah.
me, I'm just like, that's fantasy.
Like even in Ocarina of Time too, like I feel like there are some very like modern things in there. Like you go to Castletown, like there's the bomb shop, like Bomb Chew Bowling or whatever. Like that doesn't seem medieval to me or like Majora's Mask. There's aliens, like it's so. I don't know. Fantasy, I guess, is what I would consider it. I will say
So just
this.
doing just doing a quick look. So like high fantasy, that would be your Lord of the Rings, set in an entirely fictional world,
Okay.
and history. Low fantasy occurs in the normal real world. Urban fantasy, I read a lot of urban fantasy. That's where it's like more modern, and then there's fantastical things happening in our modern world. And then I'm trying to see if there's like, I guess maybe historical fantasy could be like medieval fantasy. I don't see. Maybe I would have to look it up specifically. But anyways, there's like a ginormous list of the different types of fantasy that there are. So I've just
Yeah.
never been I've just had it as a general scope, I guess, in my mind.
Yeah. I mean, like the Zelda series could be whatever you want it to be. I think is
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
answer. The only thing I will say, okay, is somebody in the comments said they should just go full from soft and skip straight to Victorian Goth era from Zelda. I hate that. I hope that never happens.
Why?
Because Twilight Princess was as close. I just think it's a grim, ugly setting. It's not what I want for a Zelda. It's
Okay,
just
fair.
not. Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
Um. Okay. Oh, this one is written for you, Al.
Okay.
Jared Eubanks. What are some of your most helpful tips for beating Adventure of Link?
No. I got no tips. Wait, no, here's a tip. Don't play it.
Oh,
Wait, that
boo!
doesn't serve the purpose. Let me channel Andy Spiteri. You can use the rewind feature. That would
You can
really
use
help you out.
Rewind. Yeah,
Also, you could use Zelda Dungeon for a guide. Do we have a good guide on
we do.
Adventure of Link? Okay, you
Yeah.
can use Zelda Dungeon's amazing guide for
Here's
Adventure of Link.
here's what I'm going to say. Okay, and this is going to be the ultimate piece of advice for everybody. And Allison, this is for you. Okay,
Okay.
you have to be patient. You have to
Ugh,
be patient. The
ugh.
gamers now, okay, we all want instant gratification. We want, Horizon famously had the yellow paint that you needed to follow, and like that is a step too far. This game is like the ultimate test, and like you have to be patient, you have to learn, and you have to study these enemies. You have to go in knowing you will die,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to go in
Okay.
knowing that you will lose progress. But if
I
you take
think
a moment and you help and you just study the enemies and their patterns, you will get better.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair to say. And there are games where I'm 100% willing to do that. Like Horizon, totally willing to do that. I struggled with combat in the game, but it takes learning. It takes like learning your enemy, the different types of machines that you're fighting, et cetera, et cetera. I'm willing to do that for certain games. People would say the same thing about the Dark Souls and the Elder Rings of
Totally.
the world. Not willing to do that. Not for me. And not for me for Adventure of Link unless Andy forces me for an episode. But like I get what you're saying, and there are games where I'm willing to do that.
Yeah.
It's just not these.
And that's fair. Like this game is just not for some people, and that's
Mm-hmm.
totally
Mm-hmm.
fine. And the people that love
Totally
it
fine.
really really love it. Gooey,
They did all that work, and I'm proud of them.
yeah. Like Goo is a big proponent of this game, and I saw him
Mm-hmm.
posting the other day. He's just like, people need to put more respect on Zelda 2's name, and I don't necessarily agree with that. I think like it obviously has its reputation that it has for a reason,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, like if you are willing to invest into it, there is a really fun game there, and there is a satisfaction that you can get playing
Yeah.
and beating this game.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, there's some other great tips actually. If anyone is like legit interested in playing Adventure of Link, there's some really good comments in this daily debate. So go check it out. How about this one? This is from Leslie. Were you surprised by where Calamo? Have you forgotten about Calamo from Age of Imprisonment yet, Al? Where
No.
Calamo put down his roots.
I don't know if
Is
I actually.
surprised the right word?
Well, I don't know about surprise, but I think that I disagree with most people about where
Did we talk about this last? I feel like we talked about this recently.
we talked with Corey after the episode about it.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. Um. What is Leslie saying? The ancient tree stump, right? I
She's
don't
saying
think
it's
I
the ancient
agree.
tree stump.
I feel like it's the Deku tree, but it's been a minute. It's been since November since I've had these thoughts and like played the game and like was 10 toes down behind my theory, so I'm more like 4 toes down at this point, but
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's either one of those, to be honest, because those are two very prominent trees in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. So,
I think like no matter what, I don't know
mhm.
if like surprise is the right word. Just like disappointed or like I was gonna say indifferent, but I think I'm gonna stick with
Yeah.
disappointed. Like I think that like if the biggest takeaway from Age of Imprisonment is like, oh hey, we know that this random tree in Breath of the Wild's Hyrule is now actually this Korok from the Imprisoning War. I just kind of feel like that's disappointing, and like why did we need to tell the story of Age of Imprisonment at all if like the only
Mhm.
addition, like significant addition to the established lore is like, oh hey, this tree, it used to be Calamo. I think if it was
Mhm.
a Great Deku tree and like it was a character that you knew and grew into, that would just be like so much more like I don't know, relevant, or like give Age of Imprisonment some like much needed like importance in terms of like what it was trying to do. I don't know. We talked about Age of Imprisonment and we were all so upset, me especially, at Age of Calamity for the marketing and stuff like that. And I'm gonna admit that I was wrong. Like I just Age of Calamity, I feel like I was mad at it for kind of lying to us, but I will say I would much rather take an insane story like that over what we got with Age of Imprisonment. Maybe I should say I was wrong. Like I did want like a canon story in Age of Imprisonment, but like the plot of this game just like there's nothing there. Like nothing of relevance.
Yeah. It's like, God, we're almost beating a dead horse at this point, but like with Age of Imprisonment, it gave us all the things that I wanted, which was to keep it canon.
Yeah.
And they did throw some like curveballs there with the piece of Master Sword going into the construct and Calamo, and so there were some like additions, but really the missed opportunity is we had so many questions from Tears of the Kingdom that could have been answered because a lot of the stuff
Yeah.
happened in the past and they just refused to dig deeper. It's just it's kind of this thing where I'm like, stop giving us surface level stuff. We're
Yes.
not done.
Good work. Good description, Al. Good description.
Yeah. We want it to be deep, and
Even
I
even the
don't know.
Zonai, like we were told. Well, we were told like later in the game, like, oh yeah, this is actually how they all like died. But like you were kind of like it was
But
an
it's still
inference at
ambiguous.
first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's still ambiguous because they were creating these constructs and they were like, this must have been the reason they all died because these constructs are
Yeah.
are dangerous. And but how do you know that? You're just guessing.
Exactly.
Aren't you a Zonai? Like, how do you not know?
And Minoru later is just like, oh yeah, by the way, I confirmed it. This is what happened to all the Zonai, and it's just like,
Hmm.
great, let's hear the story. Like, what did you find
Yeah,
out? And she's just
yeah.
like, want to go fight some monsters instead of hearing, and it's just like, oh my god, like,
Hmm.
I,
Give us the actual lore. You know? I don't know.
someone in last week's show was on me for kind of beating on Age of Imprisonment. I felt so disappointed in that game's story because surface level is probably generous. Like it to me it was like pointless. Like like
Hmm.
and the game itself played, looked, smelt, tasted exactly like Age of Calamity. Like it was smoother for sure, and I like the team up system. But like, I mean, geez,
Yeah, I don't know how long we want to spend on this. We have
yeah,
episodes about it.
we
And
have a
like
lot of episodes.
the further away I get from it and like haven't touched it, the more negatively I feel about that. And I hate being like a negative person about the series. I will say like my critical thing like my critiques is what I'm trying to say. Like I'll say those, but I don't like being negative about stuff and I just feel so negative about this game.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, let's do a couple more, and then we'll wrap it up, Al. This is from Leslie. Dude, I totally forgot about this. When are we getting Minoru's Construct amiibo? This was
I
announced.
haven't forgotten.
This was announced June 5th. Oh, you know what? I might actually be wrong. It might have even been announced before that. Let me just read here. So the other The other amiibo were announced. Excuse me. This was announced April 2nd, so almost a calendar year ago, Al. The other Tears of the Kingdom amiibo, so Tulin Yunobo, Sidon, Riju, not Drip Nobo, it should be said, released on Switch 2, the day that released on Switch 2 on June 5th, the day that the Switch 2 came out. And this like Zelda Minoru amiibo is just like in limbo, like nothing is going on. So either that tells me that like they just haven't been able to get the look right, or there's a problem with production, or maybe there's something that's coming up that is somewhat related that they are waiting to tie this release to. I don't know, but man,
I don't
it's
know
been
either.
forever.
Yeah, I don't know why they would wait.
Like at this point, it's not even relevant anymore. Like who wants this thing?
Yeah, they're gonna be like on a random Tuesday. Guess what? Minoru's Construct amiibo, and you're like, oh, okay. I guess like people will only care about it if they want to add to their collection. Like I have every Zelda amiibo. I would want to keep that going. Yeah. But like, what is its purpose? Does it contribute to any game? Oh, we want to play Tears of the Kingdom 4 years after it came out because the new amiibo came out? I don't think so. So like, what's the point?
Yeah. Okay, this next one, I'm just picking a few. I'm picking two more rando ones, and then we'll wrap it up, Al. This next one is Allison's dream right here. This is from Shakel. Would you ever like to see a Zelda farming sim?
Did we no, it was a romantic game or whatever. A farming sim for Zelda? Yeah, I
thought you'd be all over this.
So, like, let's say you live in Hateno Village because that's the farming village, right? And
sure.
you're tired of the hustle and bustle of other places, and Hateno hasn't been affected by the calamity, so I'm gonna take up my roots and move over to the seemingly empty house in Hateno. Nobody lives here. They're looking to destroy it, and then you get this big plot of land, and you can make all the potatoes, all the pumpkins, all the cheese that you want. I think that'd be really cute.
You know what? Sure, I'm down for it. It wouldn't be for me.
Yeah,
it wouldn't be for me, but I think it'd be really popular with like a lot of people, and I'm always of the opinion that like I would love to see Zelda branch out into different genres. So yeah, why not? I think. I probably would play it just because I would be obligated to. And maybe it's the one where I'm just like, I get it. I get what the craze about the farming sims are. It's cozy.
I don't know. It would have to go well. So like, this is, you know what? This is the exact same feeling I had with Pokopia when they first showed it. I was just like, because I'm getting really like, I'm starting to understand why people are getting a little burnt out on the cozy genre, because people keep pushing them out and they're not good anymore. But Pokopia came out and it's not farming sim, but it's definitely cozy. It's definitely Animal Crossing, Minecrafty. And it's amazing. Like, it is so good. It's so good for the genre. It's fantastic. So when I hear Zelda farming sim, I get that same feeling that I did with Pokopia initially. Like, oh, it's probably like something they're just going to push out and it's not going to be as good as anything else. But they could probably do something really well with it. Like, they could totally have a spinoff and have it go exceedingly well, just like Pokopia is going. So I don't see why not.
You know what I thought the first time that I saw Pokopia?
What?
I was like, that's weird. I missed this game on GameCube. That's weird that they're adding this GameCube game to Nintendo Switch Online.
You're so goofy. That game, it looks amazing. If you actually play it, it looks incredible. And it plays so well. I haven't had a single lag.
By the way, okay, so I've never played a minute of Minecraft. I watched the Minecraft movie last night, Al, for Virtual Theater.
Ew.
Jesus. I didn't watch all of it. I shut it off after about an hour. I wasn't in the right headspace to continue it.
Yeah.
I got like 40 minutes left tonight. Oof.
That's something that's definitely catered to kids, and you just can't
totally. Yeah, totally. It's a perfectly fine kids movie, and I'm sure if you play Minecraft, there's like a bunch of stuff where you're like, oh, cool, like it's this and this and this, but I am not the target audience. I will say this: the last thing about the Zelda farming sim, basically, my worst nightmare is like being stuck in the opening hour or two in Twilight Princess, and if that was your farming sim, I'm out. I'm not doing it.
No, they wouldn't make it look like that. There's no way.
It can't. Yeah, it can't look like that. Like, to me,
No,
that's what I think of when I think of Zelda farming, is like getting yelled at by Ilya and busy work.
no, no. Well, I mean, they'll be busy work, but no.
Okay, last one here. This is from Nick Miller. Um, what do you think happened to the King of Hyrule during Ganon's rule in Ocarina of Time?
Oh, he, yeah, yeah, he was definitely executed.
This, yeah.
How do I say that nice on this PG podcast?
He met a terrible fate. Let's just say.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I would have loved to see that, actually, though. Like, if there was like a, well, I mean, okay, like, you know what? Everyone's always saying like, oh, Ocarina of Time should get a remake. It should get a remake, and I don't think it needs one. Okay, but let's just say hypothetically they do, and hypothetically it's like an open, a more openy world type of game where like there's rooms where that are bigger and better. If Hyrule Castle was expanded and was kind of made to look like, Breath of the Wild's Hyrule Castle, I'd be down for like the little chamber at the bottom. You can maybe see, you can find like the king's ring or something like that.
Oh my god.
Maybe his crown.
Yeah, no, I don't think he made it very, very far, very long. I think he was either exiled or executed. Really quick, like I don't know about you, but my feed, like my social media feed, is full of people believing the rumors that we are getting a full-blown Ocarina of Time remake this year, even.
Dude,
And I'm just like, aw, you poor sweet summer children.
there is like the cycle right now in the Metroid world is like, oh, Super Metroid is getting a remake because some leaker said so.
Yeah.
And there's nothing to these leaks, right? But like all these big outlets are reporting on it, and it's just like, you guys,
You
like,
know what? If they're true, let's say that you get a Super Metroid remake and we get an Ocarina of Time full-blown remake. They're not even saying it's an HD. You know what? I'll eat this hat. I'll do it. Well,
and you know what? If it's true, then great. I mean, those are my two favorite games, so I mean, like, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
They don't need remakes, but like
No.
if they're gonna happen, like I'm not gonna complain necessarily. So like, sure, but it's just like, oh, hey, Twilight Princess and Wind Waker HD are coming out on the Switch this year.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I feel like that has died. Everybody's just like over that now, and that for some reason they're stuck on this thing where it's coming out in fall of 2026, and I'm like, oh, and they're gonna announce it in the June Direct, and I was just like, there's no way.
I don't know, man. I don't know what to say. I don't even know if we're going to get a June Direct. There's a really interesting article, actually, last thing I'll say before we sign off. It's on the site right now. It's from Sean, and he is kind of positioning like the Nintendo Switch 2 has a collection of really great games, but the surprise is that these aren't Nintendo games. They are largely third-party games like Assassin's Creed, Final Fantasy, Octopath Traveler, Cyberpunk, Hades, Silksong, Resident Evil, etc. And like, we'll talk about this in June when we do the 1 year retrospective, but like I feel like this has been a tough year for the Switch in terms of like really great first party games. It feels like the quantity hasn't been there. It feels like the quality has been hit or miss. So I do hope that we get a direct in June, because I actually think it should be like sooner than that. I know that typically they're not, but like maybe we could do one in April because we did one last year. Because like I don't know what we're playing this summer.
I mean, Yoshi. We could play the Yoshi storybook game.
What's after that? I guess like Tamagotchi Life on the Switch One.
Yeah.
No offense, I can't imagine that's going to be, people are going to be busting down the doors of their local Target to buy that.
Well, I mean, to be honest, it probably is much more popular than we're giving it credit for, just because we don't play it. Like, they're putting a lot of stock in it. They've given it like at least 2 directs, right? Just Tamagotchi Life directs. So I mean, I think it's actually a lot more popular than we're giving it credit for. So I think a lot of people will get that game. It's
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But it's also only for the Switch. It's not for the Switch 2.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I will backtrack on that then. But I think it will be more popular than we give it credit for, but not for the Switch 2. We're focused on the Switch 2. You're right.
Yeah. So we'll see. All right. Well, I think that's about it. That's about all. What anything left that you want to talk about before we get out of here, Al?
I'm excited that we have a few episodes of Okami coming up, but I'm really looking forward to not messaging each other every week and being like, what are we talking about?
I know.
I miss the days when there's content.
I know. It's a struggle sometimes over on
Especially
these Zelda
like
podcasts.
coming off of the month of the 40th anniversary. I know we've beaten that dead horse too, but like it's kind of like, come on, okay, when's the next thing, you know?
Yeah. I do think that thing is coming. Um, I thought that it would be really cool if they had like a little Zelda teaser, even if it was just the logo for the Mario movie. I feel like that's probably not happening at this point, but yeah, we'll definitely get some Zelda news at some point here, but
Hmm.
we'll have to wait for it, I
We'll
guess.
see.
Okay, well there it is, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in and checking us out. Of course, if you like this show, we do want to encourage you to go over to wherever you get your podcasts. Go like, subscribe, recommend, rate, review, all of those great things as well. Just tell a friend about the Zelda Cast. If you got a Zelda fan in your life, tell them, or they can get their weekly Zelda fix. We are over on Blue Sky at Spiteri316 at Allison Letha and at the Zelda Cast. And if you really want to take your Zelda Cast love to the next level, we do in fact have a Patreon, patreon.com/spnet. There is bonus Zelda shows coming out monthly. There's bonus Metroid shows too, actually. There's bonus Lord of the Rings shows. There's episodes about each of the Zelda cartoon episodes from the early or late 80s, excuse me. So those are all available over on patreon.com/spnet. ZeldaDungeon.net if you're playing Adventure of Link and you need some tips, it's over there. And if you want to watch these episodes with video, check out Zelda Dungeon's YouTube page or twitch.tv/the ZeldaCast. That is going to do it for us, my friends. So until next week, take care.
Bye.
Hey everyone! If you enjoyed this clip and want to see more of the Zelda Cast, make sure to head over to your favorite podcast platform of choice and subscribe. There are over 200 episodes in the vault that will provide you with hundreds of hours of Zelda content for you to enjoy. You can listen to us when you're on a walk, fighting Ganon, trying to sleep, whatever. And if you want to see these shows as they happen, make sure to head over to twitch.tv/the ZeldaCast, where you can watch our beautiful faces talk about Zelda every single week. Don't miss out, and we'll see you next time.